So I'm here in a very unusual update. I'm with the wonderful Cllr Michele Scott. We're both laughing because you told me off for saying something like that, but she is wonderful. She's wonderful. Michele
only on a Tuesday.
Is my deputy at the council and gives me a massive amount of support in all the work that I do. And we were talking about community projects that I do, and Michele was telling me about an amazing thing that she's doing, and it's at this wonderful church, isn't it, Michele?
It is.
So tell us, where are we?
So we're at the Church of St Stephen on the Cliffs in Warbreck Ward, between Ginn and Bispham. We're a very short distance from the promenade of this wonderful church, and the vicar of the church, Father Andrew Tether, are going to be hosting a Solstice Arts Festival in the first week in June.
And I can't wait to hear all about this, because I do believe there might be something about Vikings.
I believe so. Vikings and Bollywood dancers on the same day in the same venue.
Wow, that is amazing. Shall we go and meet him?
Yeah, let's go and meet Father Andrew.
Brilliant.
So here we are at St Stephen on the Cliffs Church. I'm Cllr Michele Scott, and I'm here to talk to Father Andrew Tether about the amazing Solstice Arts Festival that's going to be taking place in early June. Father Andrew, can you tell us how this festival has come about, please?
Yes, there's two important parts of the festival, really. One is that when our church was built 100 years ago, the first vicar was very involved in the theatres in Blackpool. There were a lot more theatres, of course, back then. And he encouraged many of the local stars to come to the church here. And when I got my first equity card in 1991, it used to come with a booklet telling you where you could stay if you were in the theatrical fraternity. Not because people didn't want you there, but because on the whole, the more town centre your B&B is or hotel is, the more short-term lets you want to do. And so the people in the more unfashionable end of town will be keener to have people staying for a few months at a time, which they wouldn't be in the town centre, of course. And so it was often a list of B&Bs around the edge of a town centre in walking distance where the theatres were. Of course, now, those days have gone. But many of the B&Bs around here were full of the stars and the sort of deputy stars performing in the theatres in Blackpool over the summer season. And so they'd come here naturally anyway. There was no theatre on Sunday. And we got wonderful stories of people lining the streets outside the church here, waiting for their favourite entertainer to come, for Tessie O'Shea or Noel Coward. And the people who came here, the actors, then began a little sort of club in the hall, and the Actors' Chapel was built here about 90 years ago, which immortalises the most famous people on stage at the time. So we have literally carved marble slabs of the names of all the famous stars from Blackpool on them, and the long history of involvement in the theatre. I was a stage manager in the West End as well, quite a few years, so when I came it seemed like a good fit. And we thought to ourselves, what can we do here at St Stephen's to encourage people that live nearby? Blackpool's full of events of people that come on a holiday here. And we wanted to know what we could do for people that live nearby to immerse themselves in the arts and culture. And being based where we are, in Bispham on the Cliffs, it seemed a good place to do that. We're surrounded by people's houses, and on the whole, there's not much going on because we're the only public building in the area. Now, the only place I always say to people, you can come here and sit down and be here without spending any money. There's no other building nearby where you can do that. If you sit in Markeller's without spending any money for an hour, you'll soon be shown where the door is. So we thought, well, we want to do an arts festival. We want to do it as cheaply as possible. So it's subsidised as well, because we want people to be exposed to what we're doing. And the whole thing will end with a big family fun day in the gardens as well. We have beautiful gardens here as well, and people, on the whole, I think, aren't sure they can use them. They can, of course, they're always open. But not being a public park, people aren't sure that it's a place they can use the park.
Lovely. And you've also got the benefit of two really good community halls here as well, which lend themselves to public events.
We have. Well, the main hall, our biggest hall, was the church originally. They built that first of all with the vicarage, and then they built the church over the years after. And the smaller hall as well is a newer extension from 1990. And yes, they're used pretty much all the time, to be honest. We have a lot of bookings in them. And we don't do party bookings, it's community groups that want to come here and put events on. So we have community association meetings, we have tea dances, we have a big, busy Scouts group, which we're very happy with, because so many Scout groups now are closing down or getting short of numbers. Ours has a as it has full books, which is good.
I'm an honorary member.
You are indeed, yes. You have a woggle, haven't you?
I do.
Well, don't show it to me now, but...
So going back to the festival, we've got the poster for it here. So can you give us some idea of what we can look forward to during the week?
Well, there's things you can look forward to, things you can't look forward to. So actually, I've already got things which you can't come to.
Sold out,
One of the important things for us was to make sure that we involve schools and young people in the festival. And so we have a concert here, well, 2 school concerts with David Windle, who was a really famous organist in the Tower Ballroom for years. He's playing a selection of Disney tunes and Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift and whatever on the organ. And we've got 2 big school groups coming in for that. We also haven't even put it down because it sold out a long time ago. We have House of Wings breakdancing as well. We've got 2 school breakdancing classes here as well. So the kids will come here from local schools, have a tour of the church to help with their curriculum. And then the other ones will be in the hall doing breakdancing and change over halfway through. We also have Blackpool Brass performing at the opening. We have, if you've never heard of Andy Eastwood, you really ought to. He is one of Blackpool's most famous performers. Plays on cruise ships all around the country, around the world, and lives in the middle of Blackpool. Plays in some of the hotels here as well. He has based his life and his work on the work of George Formby, one of the names in our Access Chapel here, actually. And Andy is a fantastic banjo-lady and ukulele player. And he's doing a wonderful concert near the end of the festival. He's also doing a workshop as well. So if you want to play the banjo or uke and you've got one, you can come along with it, whatever skill level you are, and sit in one of the halls and basically just play with Andy for an hour or so and learn. He's probably the most famous ukulele player in the world. So you can just sit with him and enjoy being with him for an hour or so and get some tips off him. Whether you're just beginning and can only just pluck up 2 or 3 strings, or whether you're playing for years, it doesn't matter. And we have a wonderful family fun day as well, which will use both our halls for indoor fairs. We've got outdoor stalls as well. We have the local Viking group who use our hall as well on Sunday evening, doing 2 Viking battles in the gardens. We've got House of Wings coming back to do breakdancing workshops for kids outside as well during it. And we have something else as well. Bollywood dancers, of course, yes. Yeah, at 3 o'clock, the final Bollywood dancers.
Yeah,
who you and... yeah, absolutely. We're looking forward to that. And then we're closing it all off with a Mass on Sunday evening, which we've got the Bishop of Blackburn coming to, and our main choir, Cantantes Domino, singing some particularly spectacular choral music for. So now it's our first ever festival here. So it's not going to be... I used to be a stage manager in London years ago, and I put on big events. This is going to be a good big event, but it's our first one. So every year we're going to build it up. The important thing for us now is that we have a legacy as well. So we have our first festival this year, quite a smaller one in many ways, but we're new to this here, and it's all volunteer-led and volunteer-run. We've already booked in 9 acts for next year, but we've also got some money for National Lottery as well. Which we can't use it for the festival, which is a bit annoying, but we can use it. It's there for a legacy program. So community groups nearby that want to be part of our community here, who want to use our halls, want to begin any workshops or dance or anything artistic, can apply to us for a grant. We'll give, and we handle that National Lottery money. We can offer them a grant to help start up their performance, whatever they might be doing. So the annual event, the first one this year, will be a wonderful event, but small. And then the legacy event, will be people nearby who begin doing arts and working with us, and then that will feed into the next event, and so on for the years after that. So the idea of the first one is just to say, here we are, hello, we're going to do this, to explain about the legacy, to involve people in that, and then that will feed into... So the events won't be put on by us in years to come.
Yeah.
It will be local people, well, like me, I'm a local person now, aren't I?
You are
I moved here 14 months ago, so I'm definitely a local person. and other people live nearby as well, like yourself and Danny as well, who will hopefully signpost people here, encourage folk to come here, and then we can use this grant as well for National Lottery to enable people to run community events for local Blackpool residents here in our buildings.
Excellent. So obviously the event is being held here in Warbreck Ward in St Stephen's Church, but the event is open to anyone. So I think it's important we let them know how to get here. So for anybody coming by public transport, the tram along the promenade, it's the St Stephen's tram stop, and we're a short walk from there. The 3 or 3A bus, and if people get off at either Lowther Avenue or Carling Gate, again, very short walk here.
Indeed, you can land your helicopter on the gardens over there as well.
Do they need permission to do that?
Only from me.
Oh, right.
You can send me an email, it's fine.
And most importantly as well, some of the events are ticketed items, so you will need to purchase tickets. And I'm going to just look at my crib sheet here. The website is www.solsticeartsfestival.org.uk. Very, very easy on there to purchase your tickets. I've done so myself.
You have, I saw, yes.
I'm coming to Andy Eastwood and his band, and others if I feel I can fit them in during the week. It's a bit of a busy time for us at the moment. Any hitches along the way, Father? I know there were some, so...
Oh, lots. We had more hitches than good news, actually. One of them was, unfortunately, the Arts Council turned us down for funding. And they said, you're exactly what we want to fund, but you haven't done it yet. So do the first one, and then apply for next year's funding, and we will be far keener to let you have it for that. They want to make sure, basically, we can do it.
Yeah.
And that's fair enough as well. We've been very grateful for that. We had a lot of funding from local sources, including your award budget. Thank you for that. Local companies like the Cliffs Hotel, Choice Me, I shan't mention them all now, but a number of local companies have been really kind, giving us small or medium or larger grants, and just saying to us that we really want you to do this. And we realise we've been not let down by the other grant-making bodies, but we haven't got what we hoped for. When you fill out 75 pages of applications, you kind of hope you might get something back, but there we are.
Yeah.
And we've had people as well who wanted to put things on, who have pulled out for always very good reasons. But when you have a number of those things happening, you think to yourself, can we do this or not? In fact, what it's left us with is a smaller festival, which our volunteers feel a bit more confident about pulling off.
Yeah.
What I am wanting to say as well is that this is being done by people that live nearby, for people that live nearby, as well as people who are further away as well. If you're on holiday in Blackpool, fine, come along. If you live in South Shore, if you live in Livingston Towns, if you live in Aberdeen, you can come, it's fine. But we are reliant on people to help do this with us. So the legacy is important as well, to bring and involve as many folks as we possibly can do in this. There'll be hitches on the way, there always are. And some of the people who can't come this year are coming back next year. And actually by then as well, we'll be a bit better at it. We've done it once already. People will know we're doing this here. I'm not expecting to be completely bowled over by numbers this year. What we will expect to do is to involve people and to say, now you're here, what can we do with you? Not for you, but what can we do with you? Yeah. How can we include you in this over the next year? And that's, I hope, going to be the most important thing that comes out of this, is that it doesn't just put an event on every year, it includes people in our community over the year in events for ourselves and for each other.
Excellent. And I think I remembered you saying when we were speaking about it before that there'll be a toddler group set up.
Yes, indeed.
Legacy.
Yes, we, how do I put this? We haven't got many young people in our church here. And the Cliffs where we are has been historically a retirement area quite a long time. That's changing now quite a lot. And we've got a wonderful, vibrant community of people that come here, but we realise that we need to do more for people with younger families. And so we are, over the summer holidays, starting a weekly toddler group on Friday morning for mums, dads, carers, toddlers to come along to. How that will go, I don't know. What I hope it will do is change. We'll start a thing. If we find that we're doing it for the wrong age group, for the wrong people, that's fine. But people can come along and just say, actually, what would be really helpful for us is a group for 10 to 12-year-olds, whatever it might be. We'll start the toddler group for carers and their toddlers, and then if people want to come along and help us do that, or want to help to run it, if they want to help us to change it as well, that's fine. We've got these lovely buildings here in the middle of the Cliffs, and we desire to use them for the good of the people that live nearby. So if people are watching this and thinking, well, it's not really what I want, my encouragement would be, well, come and tell me what you do want.
Yeah, and the church is open all the time for anyone.
We are open 6 days a week, about 9 in the morning to between 5 and 9 in the evening, depending on the day of the week. We're closed on a Saturday because there's an insurance issue around Saturdays, which we hope to overcome. But otherwise than that, yes, I mean, there's people in here most of the time. The doors are always open in the daytime, apart from Saturday. You can come for a busy time or a quiet time, depending on what you want. You're very welcome. Everyone is.
Thank you. Well, I'm looking forward enormously to the event, and I know others are too. It's not long now. It's been quite a long time in the planning, hasn't it? With hitches and hiccups along the way, but we're nearly there. Just need to hope for good weather now.
Well, we have no plan B anymore. So when we're having our Viking battle, it'll either be a muddy Viking battle or a dry Viking battle. I'm hoping it won't be a muddy one because the garden's a mess as it is already anyway, without 20 Vikings tramping all over it in the mud. But I was at the Chipping Steam Fair on Monday, yesterday, on Bank Holiday Monday, and that was called off because of the bad weather. So we've got 2 more weeks for it to dry out, and we hope for the best.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for telling us all about the festival, and I'm really looking forward to coming and joining you.
Thank you. We'll see you there.
You're welcome.